You're listening to a recipe in English. You understand most of the words, but then the chef says, fold in the egg whites. Wait, fold? Like folding a shirt? And suddenly you're lost. This is Sona's English podcast. In the next minutes, you're going to learn how real English speakers talk about cooking. Not from a textbook, from a kitchen. If you're at A2 or B1 level, this episode is for you. By the end, you'll understand cooking shows, follow recipes, and talk about food without translating in your head. Let's start. Here's the truth. Most English learners can order food in a restaurant. They can say, I like pasta, or this soup is delicious. But when they watch a cooking video in English, they freeze. Because cooking English is different. It's fast, it's physical, and it uses verbs you've never seen in a grammar book. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're watching someone make an omelette. They say, crack the eggs, whisk them, pour them into the pan, let them set, then flip. 5 verbs, 5 actions. And if you miss one, you don't understand what's happening. That's what we're going to fix today. Not by memorizing a list, but by walking through a real cooking experience. Step by step in English. And I'm going to show you one mistake that almost every English learner makes when they try to describe cooking. I'll explain it later, but once you know it, everything will feel easier. Close your eyes for a second. You're in a kitchen. It's morning. You're making breakfast. Let me describe what you see. On the counter, there's a cutting board. Next to it, it's a knife. In front of you, there's a bowl, a pan, a spoon. These are your tools. Now, let's cook. Step 1, preparation. First, you take out the ingredients. Eggs, butter, cheese, some vegetables. Listen to the verbs. You take out the eggs. You peel an onion. You chop the onion into small pieces. You slice a tomato. You grate the cheese. Notice something? Every verb describes a specific action. You don't say cut for everything. You chop an onion. You slice a tomato. You dice a potato into cubes. This is real kitchen English. And here's something interesting. Native speakers almost never say, I am cooking. They say something else. I'll explain what in a minute. Let's keep going. You've chopped the onion. Now what? You turn on the stove. You put a pan on the stove. You add a little butter. Listen, the butter melts. You don't melt the butter. The butter melts by itself. This is important. In English, some cooking verbs are active. You stir the soup. You flip the pancake. But some verbs are passive. The water boils. The bread bakes. The sauce thickens. Let me give you a few more. The oil heats up. The vegetables soften. The pasta cooks. You don't say, I am cooking the pasta. You say, the pasta is cooking. Or even simpler, I'm cooking pasta. Here's the mistake I promised to explain. Many English learners say, I am making cook the chicken. No, you say, I'm cooking the chicken. Or, I'm making dinner. But never both together. Cooking shows the action. Making shows the result. Got it? Now, let's go back to the kitchen. The butter has melted. Now you add the onion. Listen to what happens. You toss the onion in the pan. You sauté it. You sauté it. Sauté means cook something quickly in a little oil or butter. The onion starts to sizzle. It turns soft. It becomes golden. See how we're building the picture? Now you crack an egg. You whisk it in a bowl. Whisk means mix it fast with a fork or whisk. Then you pour it into the pan. The egg spreads across the pan. You let it cook for a minute. Then you fold it over. Remember that word from the beginning? To fold means to gently turn one part over another, like folding a piece of paper, but softer, more careful. You don't flip an omelette like a pancake. You fold it, okay? Now it makes sense, right? So, fold an omelette, flip a pancake. Let's add more detail. While the egg is cooking, you sprinkle a little salt. You grind some black pepper. You add the cheese. Then you slide the omelette onto a plate. Done! That's how you talk about cooking in English. Not with big explanations, just simple verbs and clear actions. But here's the thing. If you want to sound really natural, you need to know the sounds of cooking, not just the verbs. I'll show you what I mean. English speakers don't just describe what they do. They describe what they hear. Let me give you examples. When you put something in hot oil, it sizzles. When water is very hot, it bubbles. When you're frying bacon, it crackles. When you open a bottle of soda, it fizzes. When you stir soup, it gurgles. These words make your English feel real. Imagine you're telling a friend about your morning. I made an omelette. I heated the pan, added some butter. It started to sizzle. I poured in the eggs and they spread out perfectly. Then I folded it over and slid it onto a plate. That's not textbook English, that's kitchen English. Compare that to this one. I cooked eggs. I put them in a pan. I made an omelette. Both are correct, but one sounds like a learner. The other sounds like a person who lives in English. Now, let's do something different. I'm going to read you a simple recipe out loud, the way a native speaker would. Your job? Just listen. Don't translate, don't pause. Just let the English wash over you. Ready? The recipe. Simple tomato pasta. First, bring a large pot of water to a boil. add a pinch of salt. Once the water is boiling, add the pasta. Stir it so it doesn't stick. Let it cook for about 10 minutes or until it's tender. While the pasta is cooking, heat a pan over medium heat. Add a little olive oil. Toss in some garlic. Let it sizzle for a few seconds. Then add chopped tomatoes. Stir everything together. Let the sauce simmer for 5 minutes. Season with salt, pepper, and a pinch of sugar. When the pasta is done, drain it. Save a little pasta water, just a splash. Add the pasta to the sauce. Toss it all together. If it's too thick, add a bit of that pasta water. Serve it hot. Top with fresh basil and parmesan. Done. How did that feel? If you understood 70% or more, you're exactly where you need to be. If you missed some parts, that's okay. We're going to break it down now. And I'm going to show you one phrase that native speakers use all the time in recipes. You probably didn't even notice it. Let's look at the key phrases. Phrase 1. Bring to a boil. Bring to a boil. This means heat the water until it boils. You don't say make the water boil. You say bring the water to a boil. Phrase 2. Let it cook. Let it cook. This means don't touch it, just wait. Let the sauce simmer. Let the pasta cook. Let the chicken rest. So let means give it some time. Phrase 3. Toss it together. Toss it together. This means mix everything by shaking or stirring. Toss the salad. Toss the pasta with the sauce. It's more active than a stir, more casual. Phrase 4. A pinch of salt. A pinch of salt. A pinch means a very small amount. You take it between your fingers. Add a pinch of salt. Just a pinch of sugar. Phrase 5. Until it's tender. Until it's tender. Tender means soft and easy to eat. Cook the vegetables until they are tender. Boil the pasta until it's tender. Not hard, not crunchy, tender. And here's the phrase I mentioned earlier. A splash of water. A splash of water. A splash means a small amount of liquid. Add a splash of milk. Just a splash of oil. Native speakers use this all the time. It sounds relaxed, natural, and confident. Now let's talk about mistakes. Because even advanced learners make these. Mistake 1. I am boiling the water. No, you boil the water. The water boils, not boring. Mistake 2. I am frying on the pan. No, you fry in the pan, not on the pan. I'm frying eggs in a pan. Mistake 3. I cutted the onion. No, the past tense of cut is cut. I cut the onion. I chopped the onion. Not cutted. Mistake 4. The food is cooking by me. No, you say, I'm cooking the food. Or, the food is cooking. but never the food is cooking by me. This is not correct. These mistakes are normal. Everyone makes them. But now you know. We've covered a lot today. You've learned the verbs that bring a kitchen to life. The sounds that make your English feel real. The phrases that native speakers actually use. But more than that, you've practiced thinking in English. Not translating, just listening, absorbing, understanding. That's how fluency happens. Here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know every cooking word. You just need to practice describing what you see, what you hear, and what you do. Next time you're in the kitchen, try this. Describe what you're doing out loud in English. For example, I'm chopping an onion. The oil is heating up. The soup is simmering. Even if no one is listening, you're training your brain. Now it's your turn. In the comments, write one sentence about cooking. It can be simple, like, I'm making tea, or I fried some eggs this morning. I love baking bread. Or share a cooking memory. What did you cook recently? What went wrong? What went right? I read every comment and I'll reply. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. This is Sona's English podcast. Keep listening, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next episode.